possibilities.
Right. You're off to a great start this year. You've released 4 singles. What has the feedback and reactions been like?
Man, I'm a very humble guy, man, and I'm one of those artists where I don't really care to toot my own horn when it comes to me. I've been part of some amazing history in North Carolina as it relates to hip hop, and anybody in the Justice League will tell you that I am a complete proponent of everyone's success, and I cheer them harder than myself in some ways. You know what I'm saying? But kind of looking at 2024 moving forward and really again trying to just show and prove with a lot of the thoughts and reintroducing myself in some ways to the game. It's been incredible to see the responses thus far on these 4 singles. So I dropped a track called Molotov in March of this year, and that slow grind just because you're trying to just understand how everything functions and try to market and do things the right way and learn through trial and error. So but eventually those that heard it really appreciated it, and I'm just seeing some great response to that record and still do 7 months later. Then after that, second single was with Cesar Comanche called Kremzik. That came out in April, and that was kind of this homage to the original Transformers cartoon. We're big fans of the OG G1 Transformers. I don't deal with all that Michael Bay stuff, but basically that was kind of an homage to this character called Kremzik. In one of the episodes, it's like this electric jolt of energy that Megatron was working with, and kind of the sound, some of the synth sounds in my production on that joint kind of reminded us of that character sound, Kremzik. So we just kind of went along with that concept. So that's gotten a pretty good response as well. After that, third single was called Floe Almightier, which I dropped in June. And again, all the production is me. So Slice Meister, me. All the production has no samples. That is by design. That is intentional. I have a slew of classic drum machines from the 80s and 90s that I rely heavily on for dope beats and dope production. But I intentionally chose not to use those for this project because the whole concept of what I'm doing with my new label called Balance Coalition is exactly that, to just figure out a way to say you can still be successful, but you don't have to do what everybody else is doing. You can play your part to help balance this game out. And what you bring to the table matters. And when people talk about the state of the game today, you'll hear a lot of people mention that we need balance. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's becoming something where people are finally recognizing that we need balance, mainly because we used to have it. We used to, like I mentioned, you can listen to a Cube record, you can listen to Mac 10, you can go down south, listen to Face and, Fifth Ward Boys or what have you. You can go to the Midwest, listen to Bone and DFC and MC Breed, and you can go East Coast and get all the classic, artists from the East Coast. We need that balance today. And it's not necessarily a coast thing or a region thing. It's just a content thing, a true content thing, where we can hear about, the art of where you come from in the streets and how, you're trying to figure out your way in this environment. That's totally fine to express yourself on. But it's also totally fine to express yourself about, a girl that you like, or, you're just not feeling good today and you want to talk about how you feeling today. I mean, we need all of that. And we'll be surprised just how much we can change somebody else's trajectory in their life based on how we're expressing ourselves in our own lives. So that's kind of the whole concept with all these singles. But again, Floe Almighty dropped in June. And then I've dropped my latest single called Balco Theme in September 30th. And that's been about a little over a month out, and that's been a great response as well. So, but all of this is just trying to encourage someone to say, yes, even if you've heard of Edgar and Floe before and you know of that sound that I came up on, this doesn't sound like that, but hopefully people still appreciate it, think it's still dope, and understand that I'm trying to do something different by design to show that not only do we need balance in the game, but here's my way to contribute to that balance. It's not the only way, but here's my way to do it. So I'm grateful and lucky enough to be able to produce my own stuff, and that's a whole different avenue to even talk about. How do you rhyme, make your concepts, and you make your beats? That's
Right.
a very special group of producers and MCs that I came up in with Dilla and who
And
else? Diamond D
Pete Rock.
and uh, Q-Tip, Pete Rock, exactly. So that's a different world that I felt like I can contribute to that. I'm not on that level, I don't think, but I do recognize how that's not easy. So I'm trying to just show folks that you can do some things and turn some heads if and however you want to do that. Doesn't have to be like the next man. So
When can we expect a full project?
so full project, the Balco theme EP, which has pretty much been all these singles that I've dropped individually. I'm looking to try to get that out definitely this fall. Playing with whether or not I can make that happen next month. But the main thing is, obviously the bulk of it is kind of out on streaming platforms, but I want to get, some physical product, pressed up, vinyl, and all of that. So I'm working through that as we speak. And hopefully I can have an official release date on some physical product of the Balco theme EP. And what my goal is to give some surprises or bonuses on the physical products versus what people have heard through streaming. So it's kind of this reverse thought process, if you will. I guess, nowadays people don't really consider physical product like they used to, but I'm trying to just show folks that if you're willing to support the physical product, I want to recognize you and appreciate you for that. So I'm going to give you the instrumentals of all the tracks on the EP, as well as a bonus track or two. Whatever I can get fit on a 12-inch record, I'm going to try to squeeze all that in for this EP. So it's coming, just trying to make sure I get everything in order and kind of get the physical product finalized.
Right. After that project drops, what else can we look forward to in the future from Edgar Allan Floe?
Hey man, the next step with my label is we're gonna move into the production space. So you'll see Slice Meister release instrumental project. So I'm kind of working through the thought process with that, and also next will be the group Undefined. Undefined will be releasing something, whether it's an EP or full-length project, really soon. But I'm gonna put a lot of time and energy and trying to get that out as well. And that'll be the next step. And then after that, my goal is to have my next full-length album called King Stay Fresh come out top of the year. And I think that one will probably be a little bit more traditional, where it's not just me on the production, and find a couple dope features and a couple dope producers and all of that. So that'll be next up for me on the solo tip. So yeah, production, trying to just hit every angle from how I function to get some, unique things out there from a Balco theme perspective, get some production out there from a Slice Meister perspective, get some group material out there from an Undefined perspective, and get my solo stuff out there from an album perspective. So that's the goal over the next several months for the new label.
The status of the Justice League.
Justice League is good, man. It's one of those things where, because we all started as a collective and not necessarily a crew, we kind of understood without even really saying it that we're all our own artists that are going to have our own paths to success and paces to achieve what we want to achieve. But I really do think, and this is just from my perspective, if we feel like we want to do something, for the fans or what have you, at least where I sit, like I said, I'm in full support of whatever the group wants to do. But at the same token, yeah, I understand folks have their own careers, paths. They've done a lot over the last several years to build their own brand up. So I don't, want to negate the fact that takes a lot of time and effort and your own money to even make that happen for yourself. So I respect if folks feel like they need to continue that and continue to build on that momentum. I get it completely. completely understand that. I will say cats like, Median, he's one that he kind of enjoys more of a collective effort when releasing joints. He's actually dropped a couple of projects this past year with other artists from Florida to other cats in North Carolina, but he tries to do it on a more collective scale. So, definitely expect to see a lot more from Median. I know Comanche's working on some things. Knife is kind of doing Knife with his projects and his label. Fonte is obviously doing his thing with foreign exchange and everything they got going on there, which they've dropped a lot of releases most recently, which is great to see. I know Sean Boog is working on another project as well. He's going to be dropping something real soon, which is dope. Christ is doing his thing on the production tip, working with a variety of artists that you guys have probably seen and heard. So I know he'll keep it going. DJ Flash, or DJ, he's on the production tip as well. He's doing some dope collaborations with cats from all over. Everybody from cats from Queens to the Midwest. Like, he just has some dope production. Even cats from North Carolina as well, he's producing for. So he's doing his thing. Legacy, he's probably the only one where I know that he's talking about releasing something, but I don't know exactly when. So I would like, Leg, if you hear this, man, just, hit me up if I can help in any way. But I think that's the one that a lot of people, especially those that know Justice League, they are probably patiently waiting for a new Legacy record, because Legacy, to me, he's like our Ghostface, Supreme Clientele type of vibe from a Justice League perspective, to me at least. So Project Mayhem, which was his album that he dropped, is superior in a lot of ways, and just how he gets down reminds me of just the Ghostface portion, the Supreme Clientele portion of Wu's legacy back then. I feel like that's what he represents with the league. So definitely looking forward to whatever he's looking to drop as well.
Very dope. Before we get out of here, please let the people know about your website, your social media, where we can keep up with you moving toward the future.
Yeah. So it's all EA Floe, EAFLOE. My website is eafloe.com. Everything on socials is EA Floe. Very easy to reach out to me and connect with me. Not as active on social media like some cats might be. But again, you don't necessarily have to be. But I do feel like when I do reach out, or if I get some folks that reaches out to me themselves, I try to be responsive and appreciate anybody that's willing to take the time to listen or just, respect what I do. So, eafloe.com is where you'll get all the latest updates on projects and my catalog. And of course, I'm all over the DSPs as well, as far as these tracks, and a lot of my catalog as well is available on Spotify and all of that as well. So, but yeah, eafloe.com is kind of the central source for everything, in addition to my social handles.
Thank you so much for meeting with me today. I enjoyed our conversations. Any last words for your Day One supporters before we get out of here?
Hey, just want to thank everybody again, especially those that have been around since Day One. I know it's been a long time, but it just seems like, time flies, but our love for what we, appreciate as far as music is still there. And I feel like our generation has a lot that we can still offer the game today, and the fans as well. So anybody who kind of knows good music from day one, or is listening to stuff today and know about what happened back in the days, like, just know that your love for music matters, and you help funnel great music from the artists as well with your support. So thank you for that. And Sin-seer, thank you, man, again for reaching out and wanting to have an interview. I definitely appreciate that, man.
Absolutely. Let's stay locked in. Keep us in tune when that whole album drops. Like I said, let's stay locked in. And that is EA Floe, Edgar Allan Floe. I am the journalist Sin-seer, and we'll see you guys again soon. Thank you so much.
All right. Peace.
Peace. Let's stay locked in.